Imagine stepping outside right now and looking up at mushrooms taller than houses. These fungal towers would make ordinary trees look like tiny houseplants. This isn't science fiction. For nearly 50 million years, before trees ever existed, Earth was ruled by giant mushrooms. If plants hadn't evolved when they did, we might still live in a world dominated by massive fungus pillars. Travel back 400 million years to the Devonian period. The landscape looked completely alien. There were no trees, no grass, no flowers, and no bushes. The tallest plants barely reached your ankles. Most vegetation looked weaker than weeds growing through sidewalk cracks. The ground was mostly bare rock and poor soil. Plants were still learning how to die and turn into rich compost. So the earth remained a mix of sand, clay, and thin organic layers. The atmosphere contained about 10 times more carbon dioxide than today. The entire planet felt like an unventilated greenhouse. Humidity hung heavy everywhere. You would feel like you were breathing warm soup. Walking for days, you would see almost nothing taller than your knees, just empty stretches of rock dotted with tiny green stubs. Rivers and lakes existed, but they were warm and filled with strange, jawless creatures. The biggest animals were millipedes, early wingless insects, and occasional scorpions. No mammals, no reptiles, and amphibians were still evolving. The weather stayed hot and humid year-round, the kind of sticky heat that never lets up. The silence felt eerie, no bird calls, no large animal sounds, only wind, water, and the occasional scuttle of small creatures. It was a vast, misty, strangely empty world. Yet something extraordinary was growing in this barren landscape. Prototaxites. These were the true giant towering structures up to 26 feet tall. They stood like massive pillars scattered across the land for 50 million years, longer than mammals have dominated Earth. When scientists first discovered their fossils, they were puzzled for over a century. The fossils looked like thick tree trunks, but they dated from a time long before trees existed. Some guessed they were ancient trees, others thought giant seaweed, and a few suggested strange lichens. The debate continued for decades. In the 2000s, chemical analysis finally solved the mystery. The fossils showed a clear fungal signature. Prototaxites was a giant fungusa mushroom that had evolved to grow as tall as a modern house. Under a microscope, researchers saw woven fungal tubes instead of wood or bark. No growth rings, just pure fungal architecture. These giants appeared on every continent where conditions allowed: North America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Individual towers could live for decades, slowly adding layers of fungal tissue. Their underground networks were even more impressive. Vast webs of fungal threads spreading through the soil, sometimes for miles, collecting nutrients from wide areas. Unlike plants, prototaxites did not need sunlight. It was a decomposer, feeding on dead organic matter, rotting plants, and decaying algae. This gave it a huge advantage in a world where most life struggled for light. While small plants competed fiercely for sunlight, prototaxites could grow anywhere there was dead matter to consume. Its underground network acted like a giant pantry, storing nutrients. With almost no competition for height, the tallest plants reached only about 2 feet. Prototaxites claimed the vertical space unchallenged. They also released spores from their great height, allowing the wind to carry them far across the planet. Hot, humid conditions suited fungi perfectly, and with no large herbivores around, nothing seriously threatened them. They had won the evolutionary lottery and held the winning ticket for 50 million years. Beyond simply growing tall, prototaxites shaped the ecosystem. Tiny insects bored elaborate tunnels inside the towers. The fungus often grew around these holes, and the insects may have helped by aerating the structure and removing dead tissue. The tall towers also cast shadows that created cooler, moister microhabitats where small plants and moss could survive. When a tower finally died and fell, it became a massive feast for decomposers, slowly enriching the soil with organic matter. In this way, prototaxites acted as ecosystem architects. They helped build better soil, supported small communities of life, and prepared the ground for future changes. Those changes would eventually replace them. For 50 million years, nothing could challenge their dominance. Then plants evolved wood, deep roots, and true leaves. The first major threat came with Archaeopteryx, a tree-like plant that could grow over 30 feet tall in just a few years. It had real wood, strong roots, and broad leaves. Soon, other plants followed. Taller ferns, early seed plants, and eventually full forests. These new forests changed everything. Tree roots competed aggressively for soil nutrients and formed partnerships with fungi. Dense canopies blocked sunlight, reducing the dead organic matter that prototaxites relied on. Trees also pulled carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Cooling the planet and making conditions less ideal for fungi, wildfires became more common, and slow-growing fungal towers could not recover quickly. New herbivores appeared, some of which began tasting living vegetation, including the giant mushrooms. Starting around 370 million years ago, prototaxites fossils became rarer. By the end of the Devonian, about 360 million years ago, they had completely vanished. After 50 million years of ruling the land, the giant fungi were gone. The age of forests had begun. Their defeat was actually a gift to the future. If prototaxites had won, Earth might still be covered in fungal towers. Without forests, complex ecosystems might never have developed, and the long chain leading to amphibians, reptiles, dinosaurs, mammals, and humans would never have happened. We exist today only because those giant mushrooms lost their empire. Interestingly, prototaxites helped create the very soil that allowed trees to take over. Every tower that lived and died added organic richness to the ground. The coal deposits we use today, the oxygen-producing forests, and the varied landscapes we enjoy all trace back, in part, to the world these fungi helped shape. Today, fungi still play a crucial role. The largest living organism on Earth is a honey fungus in Oregon that covers over 2,000 acres underground. Modern fungi stay mostly hidden, connecting tree roots in vast networks that trade nutrients across forests. Exactly what prototaxites was doing 400 million years ago. We almost lived in the mushroom timeline, so a few different evolutionary twists, and giant fungi might still dominate the landscape. Instead, their fall opened the door to the incredible diversity of life we see today. Evolution rarely lets any species stay on top forever. Prototaxites ruled longer than humans have existed as a species, yet a simple innovation, plants learning to grow tall with wood, ended their reign. Their story reminds us that even the most successful rulers of Earth can be replaced. It also makes you wonder what will replace us when our time ends. History suggests something new will eventually take the stage. Just as forests replace the fungal towers,